Marion is going to be interviewing Mrs Szzvanowski.
We are interviewing her because, as you want to know, about how it was when she was evacuated in the World War II.
I was 5 years old and had just started school in 1944. You just went to the school and said, can I start? I'm 5. Well, my mum said, I'm 5 today, and so I started school the next day. And then a month later, there were a lot of V rocket bombs coming over London, and the school was evacuating lots of people. A notice came home to my mum. She said I'd have a new mummy and daddy as well as two I had, and it would be safe, there'd be no bombs. I wanted to think about it. I was only 5. And the next day I said, I want to go. And we all met, we had a medical, and then a couple of days later we went to a school where they had coaches taking us to one of the mainline stations in London. And we all went on a train up to Leicester. My parents didn't know where I was going. No, none of the parents did. And I was given, we all went to a church hall, and I was the smallest one there. And everyone was chosen by someone. I was left. I didn't know, but the person organising it had taken a liking to this tiny girl and said he wanted to take her home to his wife. And so I went in a car, and then I went to stay with them, and I was there from June until January in 1945. But I enjoyed it. I went to a school there, I made friends, and I kept in touch with the people I stayed with right until they died, well after I was married. So would anyone like to ask a question?
Since you came out of the World War II right now, do you regret anything and why?
Sorry, what?
Since you came out of the World War II right now, did you regret anything and why?
No, I don't think I regretted anything. I miss my mum and dad, but my dad was in the Navy, so I didn't see much of him. But my mum did come up for a few days. But I was very young, and I was really excited. To me, it was a big adventure. I was lucky. I was the sort of person that was happy with that. And I had good people I stayed with.
What did you do in your how did you feel when you was evacuated?
I was excited. It was an adventure to me. I was too young to know a lot more. I miss my mum and my dad who was away, but otherwise it was an adventure, something I'd never done before. I'd never even been on a train before, and certainly never in a car.
What types of food did you eat when you was evacuated?
The food was very, very English. All meat and stuff was rations, and a lot of the other things. You could have vegetables. Fruit was, apples and plums and things were okay. I'd never seen a banana, and oranges, if the greengrocer had some, he would let one go to a family with children. We certainly didn't have any fruit, Italian curries, anything like that, because at that time in England, almost everybody was English. There was nobody from overseas at all. So nobody had travelled much, so they didn't know anything about foreign foods.
What sort of place did you stay in when you was evacuated? What sort of place did you stay in when you was evacuated?
It was in Leicester, which is a town, and they had a small house backing onto the canal. They only had a backyard, and the toilet was out in the yard, so if you wanted to go to the loo in the night, you had to use a potty. But that was the way everybody lived. Well, we had the toilet inside at home, and we had a bath inside, but any baths were in a tin bath once a week, and that was what nearly everybody did in those days.
Did you have to leave any of your precious treasure behind? What were they?
I took one doll, and I think I took a set of alphabet blocks, but they were the only toys. We only had one small bag with everything. We didn't know how long we'd be staying, so that had all our clothes. I think I had 10 shillings, which was what today is 50p, and that was quite a lot of money. But we all had labels on our coats and our gas masks with us. But there wasn't room to take anything else. And of course people didn't have anywhere near as many toys as they've got now.
Since you were evacuated, were you frightened?
No, I was excited. I enjoyed it. I miss my mum and dad, but I enjoyed it.
Did you have a restricted time with your friends?
Did I have?
A restricted time with your friends?
No, as I say, I made new friends at the school. But I don't remember, we all went to one school, but I don't remember any of the children. It was all the children from Mitcham, and I think we went in 2 or 3 coaches. Everyone who'd said they were going, except one boy who didn't turn up, and the one bomb that fell that morning was on his house, and he died.
Even though you didn't know the people, did you get along with them?
Yes. I've always been someone that likes talking to people, and I don't have many enemies even now.
Do you remember any good times with the family that you stayed with?
Sorry?
Do you remember any good times with the family you stayed with?
What friends did I make?
No, did you...
There were 2 children who lived about 3 doors away, and I made friends with them.
What did the train look like? I.e., was it cluttered?
Sorry?
What did the train look like? I.e., was it cluttered?
Yeah. As I say, the school was the same, or pretty well. The classes were very similar, because the school in Mitcham, a lot of children had gone away with their parents, so they were quite small classes there, but we were fairly busy at that school because they had a lot of children coming.
Did you have any pets, or were pets allowed to go in the...
We didn't have any pets at the time, and you certainly wouldn't have been allowed to take a pet with you. 2 reasons. 1, you couldn't take them on the train, and 2, where you were staying, they might not have liked animals.
What kind of things would you play?
We had a few board games like Ludo. There were no computers, no television. Television had been invented before the war, but no ordinary people ever had one. That was in the late 40s people started buying televisions. So I've never seen a television. We listened to the radio sometimes.
Have you ever wondered why you were evacuated?
Why was I evacuated? Because there were bombs falling in London, and they suggested all the children left London that could. Now, you haven't asked one, have you?
Were your new family kind to you, and were there any other children in the house?
No, it was just a couple, and my mum came up, but that's all the family I saw. Yeah.
What did you do whilst you were evacuated? As in, like,
when I came back,
carry on with your normal life?
I was there over Christmas. I enjoyed Christmas, but I wanted to be back home, and there were less bombs, so I came home in January. But I kept in touch with the people I stayed with, you know, for many years afterwards.
Did you want to see your family again?
Sorry?
Did you want to see your family again?
Did I miss my family?
No, did you want to see them again?
No. No, sorry, what was the question again?
Did you want to see your family again?
Did I want to see them?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum came up. I was an only child, so there was only mum and I at home. Dad was away, he was in the Navy. But she couldn't stay very long because she had a house of her own, my mum and dad. And if a house was left empty for more than a few days, anyone bombed out, the council would, what they called, requisition it, take the house over, and my mum wouldn't have been able to live in it. So she was scared to leave home for more than a few days.